Hargreaves, a chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benny. Sills.
Hello and welcome to this week's Gull'S View. I'm joined by Tom.
Good evening, lads. Another defeat, eh?
Yeah, brilliant. I'm joined by Chris.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing?
Not bad. So in part one, this was us three. We're going to talk about Tonbridge and looking forward to Hampton. And then in part two, we've just recorded it. We've got a guest from Plymouth podcast. He's brilliant. We're just going to talk a bit about sort of Plymouth times and how it was for them. And so we just basically just speak about sort of similarities and 10 years on how it can work. And also a bit of insight on Plymouth Argyle right now as we look ahead to Devon Day. So so look forward to that in part two. But now we've got to actually talk about what's happening.
Say the line, Swanee. Say the line, Swanee.
Where do we start from here? Is that my line? I can't remember now. Don't even say it right. Anyway, so we held back this week recording because we thought, well, things are going to change quite drastic this week. Hasn't really appeared to, but talks are still ongoing. Can we feel a little bit positive from it, but still quite nervous?
Well, we're still not in administration, so
No.
that's I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought the message today, the statement late this afternoon was probably a little bit different, and I guess that was kind of the deadline. 5 o'clock Thursday, which is today, was the deadline for submitted bids for the club, wasn't it? So I think that kind of has changed, but there's no feel that it's a case of no one's interested. So there feels like there's talk language like a third bidder, isn't there? So there's clearly interest and there's clearly opportunities, and certainly the statement from the Tusk last night, all the days feel the same. The Miniature Waiting News, I think it was last night. Kind of just said, we're still talking. There's credible options, I think was the word used. So there's certainly, it certainly doesn't. It's not a case of all seems lost, but you as a fan, you're just impatient and you want it to. Yeah. You want to have an answer, don't you?
But as we found out, or if some people might remember, it was in the Plymouth episode coming out. They were in administration for what, 4 or 5 months. Not saying every club's the same, obviously, in this situation, but it is a patient thing. It's been a month now. Also, we're not even in administration yet, but you know what I mean, since the administrators were alerted.
And I think the good news as well this week as well, lads, is that, of course, that the club have said publicly that they've got the funds to pay the players for this week, for this month rather. So that's huge for the players as well. That's huge, particularly.
That's huge.
With the greatest of respect to the squad, they now need to turn up.
If that doesn't lift them, nothing will.
It's a very, very, very difficult time to sit here and be really critical. But also, we're talking about paid professionals here, and they have been paid this week. They are full-time professional footballers, even if they're not doing it for themselves. And we all know that in futures, it's very different. I mean, when a part-time team gets hit, it's very difficult, but they've also got part-time income. With these, it's full-time or nothing. And we are literally at the very, very bottom of full-time football. Where it's unlikely, really. I mean, you've seen a few cases of it, Dylan De Silva and all that. I presume he's full-time at Willstone. Excuse my not knowledge. I think Willstone are full-time. I'm pretty sure they are. But
I think they moved to full-time this season.
Thought so. That's right. Yeah.
But
I think as well as much as anything.
Obviously.
I think as much as anything, there's this kind of the players don't care. They'll be off anyway. I don't buy that because they're professional football players. They're professional people. They've been here for a period of time, whether that be a short length in something like Arkle G Boyd case, or a significant amount of time for people like Mox and Asa and Brett McGavin's been here a couple of years, all that kind of stuff. So I don't buy the they'll get another club, they won't care.
It's 2 weeks until the window shuts, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's not how professionals work. It just isn't.
I mean,
I just don't get it. I don't buy that.
I agree with you, Chris.
I don't think they feel like that.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it can still obviously change a bit now, but it's the last couple of results have been absolutely unacceptable, and not just the results, performances as well to go with it.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's not good enough. I mean, but I said a few weeks ago that this is a real opportunity. If the players really came together and really, performed, and it doesn't really win every game 5-0, but it just looked competitive and went for every second ball, and that's not, again, as Chris said, they don't care, but it's just, we're set up well for that, ditch the 3-5-2, just be set up a bit better. Then they could almost they will remember as a team that helped us through the administration years and all that, this year of uncertainty. We're not in administration yet. Rather than a team that got us relegated from the National League, rather than a team that was full-time tipped for the title and then came 13th, 14th, and now in a serious relegation battle, where the attitudes need to change, where it's not, oh, we've got a false position, we've got minus 10 points. No, we are, without whatever was going on, we are one of the worst teams in the league right now. We've won, what, 2 and 14? We are,
It's a terrible record,
in that record, we could actually be the worst team in the league. Maybe Dover's got more points than us. I'm not too sure. Someone will have to go and check that. And that simply is not good enough on any of these, and they need to change that. I'm sick of this kind of, I know this we say about 3-5-2, but just there's nothing. I'm really happy we've got Robbie Hero in, really praised down for that move. You know, I praised down as a bloke through the whole of this as well, just the way he handles the situation, but tactically and at the end of the day, this is a big chance for him to prove
Old
he can be a
habits
manager.
die hard, don't they?
Yes. And this has not changed enough. He's tried to go 3-5-2, and a big quote, and I think Dave Thomas says it a lot, and a lot of people says, you play your way to promotion, you fight your way out of relegation. We are in a relegation battle now. It's not time to start showing that you want to play progressive football out the back, because we don't have the players for it anyway. At the moment, the players aren't ready and that confidence. They haven't had the whole pre-season of trying to get that to work. The players, as soon as they misplace a pass, they're losing it. Old habits come in. You know, that anxiety is there. You need to set them up where they're playing. You know, if it means going a little bit back, they're fighting for every ball. You know, that Taunton embarrassed us. Taunton absolutely embarrassed us, and Tonbridge did as well. And
what a difference a week makes in football. You go from winning 4-1 at home to Dartford to being...
But they were big signs in that game. Dartford should have been 3-0 up at half time.
Oh, of course. But the worrying thing for me was how quickly our heads dropped after we conceded the second at Tunbridge. What was it? 3 goals in 4 or 5 minutes. We did what happened, you know, what Dartford did. They completely lost their heads for a good 5-10 minutes, and then the game was lost at that point. But none of us were there. But from what I've seen on the highlights, it's just embarrassing again. Just the mistakes, the continuous mistakes. Jarvis has missed an absolute sitter at 0-0. He's got to hit it first time. He's got to.
He did he miss it? He didn't get a shot off, Tom, did he? He didn't get a shot away to miss it. Took forever.
And fair play to Tunbridge. They're again a decent-ish team.
Ryan Hansen had a good game. Man of the match.
You know, mid-table, aren't they?
Told you.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, I'm not saying these players were world beaters, but there's a few players that have left the squad in the last few months, and they've gone on to be better. You know, we've gone on to at least not be shocking. You know, Dylan Silva scored at the weekend. Corey Andrews has actually been all right, Willstone.
Ryan Hansen got man of the match.
Ryan Hansen got man of the match. Dylan Crowe seems to be doing all right.
Told you,
at his club.
Yeah, I think as much as anything, I think what's hurting us significantly, and Mark did a great piece on the site earlier in the week about kind of tactically how we set up. But I mean, some of the stills that he was looking at during the week, just of the structurally how we ended up, and in this back three that none of us are fans of, and I think we're quite open about that. But the one thing you've got to have is you've got to have 3 centre backs. You've got to have 3 centre backs, but kind of structurally they were just all over the place. They weren't in a line. They were all over the place. Getting in, you could get over the top of the middle one, and then around the side. And there was just so much space in the middle of the pitch, and time and again. What was impressive in the first kind of couple of games under Downs was straight away that kind of flooding through the midfield and having 5 on a high press and people bombing past them. It stopped, and we had a bit of structure, and we had a bit of ability to be able to try and look after the football and not let people come through it. But both against Taunton and again at Tunbridge, from what you hear, there was just no structure to it. And defensively was so open, and obviously we'll be without Brett McGavin this weekend as well, which is another challenge. Whilst he's not been great at times, but he is a good footballer. He scores goals this season. He has very much been used as that kind of conduit between the defence and the midfield, hasn't he? So who do you play in there? Who can you trust in there? Who's got the ability to play in there? How is it going to affect players elsewhere? Does Asa come back in and sit in there, pick up the ball, and kind of there's a lot of, that's an important position that they need to get right for this weekend, I think.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. It's a really difficult situation, and it needs to be. We need to win everything. We need to win. The second. Play it forward. Win the second ball. We never seem to win the second ball. I just want to see a team that really will go in, don't shirk any tackles, to quote Neil Warnock, and just are set up correctly. And have the best
not go behind.
Not go behind and then the head. So you need stronger mentality. It's like, well, 3-0 that Taunton game, but it's just embarrassing us. They were just running rings around us. They didn't even feel like these teams have to get out of second gear, and we can't be a soft touch. Can't be a soft touch. It's just horrible. Yeah. It is such a tough thing, and yeah. And the problem is, this was happening a long time before. It's hard to criticize right now, but also we need to wake up, lads. If we're trying to attract buyers, we don't want to be a Southern Premier team at all.
Absolutely not.
At all.
And I don't think it's changed in that we need probably 4 wins, tops, maybe 3. But where are they going to come from? And I said last week, and I'll say it again: the away form still is the biggest problem, because our home form's it's fallen off a bit of a cliff since Christmas, isn't it? Boxing Day really is where we'll start to get a bit wrong at home. But I think we'll probably get enough, probably from these 3 home games. But we need some wins, and if they're not at home, are they going to come away? This is
the psychology. We have to win instantly. I said we needed 2 out of 3 wins from the Dartford and Truro game. We got 1, then we got battered at Tonbridge. We need a win. Doesn't have to be the prettiest win ever, just so the club can go.
We need an ugly win, don't we?
Just be like, that's okay.
Because the Dartford game was kind of that win, wasn't it? Everything was, Downs had been so impressive as a bloke and leading the club and everything that happened. And that win against Dartford, hopefully you thought then another home game shortly after to win that, and then kind of with the 10-point deduction come,
we should have never been in a point.
Really be a thing.
And going back to the Gary Johnson time, we should never, ever, ever been in a point where 10 points took us into a relegation battle. We should have always been 10 points took us out of playoffs, 10 points took us out of the top, fine. But we should never, ever, ever, ever have been in this situation. It's been those players in this time as well. And it's time for them to make up for it in that sense.
Absolutely.
And actually, which of these away games are we going to go to and win? Is it Yeovil? Is it Welling?
It's got to be the ones near the bottom, hasn't it? It has to be. You'd like to think Taunton and Truro are going to tire with their additional games they've got to play in a short spell. But again, as I mentioned I did an article on the prediction of points that I think we're going to get. And even looking back now, I think it's too many. But, a full-time professional football side should have enough core fitness about them to get these results against these part-time-ish teams.
Ability.
And, unfortunately, we've got to go, 5 away games, including Yeovil. 3 home. We're gonna have to get some. We're gonna have to get some wins away from home. This Saturday is going to be difficult. Hampton, a very good footballing side, not spectacular, but get the basics right, and more often than not, get the results when they need to. Looking on social media, I know we haven't really got time to go through all the comments in Kelly's Corner, but it's almost the same as what you said, Chris. Can you see us getting 3 wins somewhere? 4 out of 8 might do it. 2 to 4 wins might do it. Relying on teams below us not to get results. It's, we've got to. I personally think if we can get 3 wins and a couple of draws, will keep us safe. Personally, but again, it's just hard to see. We're gonna have to go to Truro and Taunton and get wins, because I don't think we're going to win.
Do I think we'll get relegated? I don't think that, because these players should be good enough. And that performance against Taunton, I left that game thinking these players are better than that. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't think we'll get relegated, because I think they will be good enough ultimately. But that away form is still just kind of hanging over me like a bit of a dark cloud, thinking, well, you think that, you say that.
We're all saying there's no
where are these wins going to come from? Not won an away game on grass all season. When's that going to end? Is it at Yeovil? Is it at Bath? Can we do it? And if so, and like I said last week, one of these away games we're going to have to rock up and win.
So when we go to Yeovil,
but it's not happened. It hasn't happened.
When we go to Yeovil, they should be on a jolly and going all that, and they are wobbling a little bit. I want us to go there and play that game. I want us to go there and be tight, and then hopefully Nick will win. And if we
like Welling did there last week, like Chippenham did there last week.
We'll turn up and we'll try and outplay them, and then play right into their strengths. If we play this, and we lose about 5 or 6-0.
Yeah, I think as well, when you look at, as Tom mentioned, the fixtures we've got coming up, the positive is we've got sides to play around us away from home. So that's not, the fact that, they're not so good potentially if you look at it statistically on the league table, but also they're sides that we know won't be getting points because we'll be getting them off them that day instead. So you're not reliant on other teams. But again, when's it going to happen?
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I think Saturday will be a draw. I think it'll be a draw. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. Can I see us beating a side like that? Without McGavin in midfield, I don't know we can. I think I'm going to go for 2-2.
Desmond.
Well, Yeah, I'd say 2-2 actually. It's got a good shout. I'll go 3-1 Hampton though.
Oh, I'd say 3-2 Hampton in my prediction, so I'll stick with that. But again, the players have been paid for the month. Maybe that'll give them a buzz. Who knows? But at the moment, I'll stay 3-2 Hampton. Although not this man here next to me.
Yeah, I've got another guest.
Being asked to come in. Hello.
Hello, we've got a Hampton guest. Thanks for joining us. So, from a Hampton point of view, what's your thoughts going into this game?
Do you know what? I think it's going to be tough. You're going to have a big crowd at Plainmoor. A lot will be wanting Torquay to win, of course, as normal.
Apart from the Hampton and some excellent Plymouth fans in your end, probably.
Well, I think it is non-league day as well, so hopefully that brings some ground hoppers and some neutrals in.
That's true. Yeah.
But I think your guys will be out there, will be lifted by what's gone on the last few weeks. There's definitely an amazing spirit at Torquay, and I think Hampton, we haven't been able to do much to help the situation, but I know there's fans who do want to go to put their 20 quid on the gate and buy a couple of beers before the game. So I hope it's a difficult one because it's one of those that you're always playing
like the baddies almost in a way when you turn up to a club like this, aren't you? It is a weird one,
goes, isn't it?
Everyone likes a baddie.
Yeah.
I want Torquay to get through this, absolutely. But
just not on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I want Hampton win, of course. I think it will be a tough game, and Hampton have had a habit of scoring 90-plus minute winners the last few weeks. So
great, terrific.
Saturday even better.
Sorry about that.
A lot of the game depends on what Torquay turns up, because I think Hampton either way are going to set a good level of themselves. I don't feel like Hampton are going to go missing.
Yeah,
it's a big occasion for the players.
Yeah, and bad timing. Well, not for Hampton, but two players are returning to fitness from injury.
Right.
You invite him on?
Yeah.
He's just got nothing but bad news.
Like we've got Plymouth fans talking about
spending a weekend in a caravan with them.
And Fada Huntsy's going to score, obviously.
Yeah, and
as
then
well.
in part 2, we have a Plymouth fan talking about how it's difficult they're in a championship relegation battle. So we'll bring it through it till
and again, from what I've seen, I don't think. I know it looks a bit doom and gloom with the table at the moment with the number of teams around you and where you've ended up, but I think you'll be all right. It's going to be painful, but I think you're going to be all right.
We've got to accept the situation. If our players go, we're too good, or we're too good as a club, they will get relegated. 100%. That's probably why we went down last season. That's why we failed all season. If we go, no, we're actually one of the worst on form teams at the moment in this division, take it seriously, then that's
we
want to see smiles like this.
There we go.
Those smiles. Look at those. Get some of those smiles going there on Saturday.
I think it's fair to say, though, and I need to put this out there now, a massive thank you to the Beavers Trust, who have very kindly offered spaces on their supporters coach for those London-based goals. If they want to come down, utilise the supporters coach from the Bev. It's a great gesture and further highlights,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
together.
So, I really appreciate that, and it's been a bit tricky on and off the pitch a bit for Hampton over the last few years as well. So let's just hope that it's and the Beavers Trust have been fantastic to the supporters trust, our supporters trust as well. So it's a really good advocate for non-league day, Devon Day, Judgment Day, whatever you want to call it. So
that got a bit dramatic, Sam.
Or another terrible Saturday day for Torquay fans. So
do not lose Torquay on the weekend, please. Do not lose.
Almost
be tough weekend for you if they do, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, I will add, we're still undefeated at Plainmoor, so.
Oh yeah, because you beat us last time as well, didn't you? In the was it 2-0?
With
Gary Hours
on in your pre-Gary days.
Yeah. Pre-Gary.
And then that FA Cup.
What about the cup last year?
Yeah.
I mean that was a bit lucky. In
Derby away was lovely, wasn't it?
Didn't throw away a 2-0 lead at all.
That is interesting, but there we go. Thank you so much for joining us, mate. That's really good, and hopefully everyone, to an extent, enjoys the day. Hopefully, Torquay fans enjoy it a bit more. But thank you for everyone, and enjoy part 2.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!